Hi, my name's Bayley Thomas from the Canter Park, and I'm going to do a talk to you today about preparing and competing at elementary level of dressage, and using my mare CPE Quanita as an example, who has been training elementary for a little while but just did her first competition at this level last week. So our movements aren't perfect, but they'll give you a good idea of what to see anyway. We are proudly sponsored by Thompson and Redwood feeds, and Lola is powered by Thompson Redwood's Clayton's pellets. So here we're going to start watching some video, and you'll see straight off the cuff we've gone into a shoulder in before taking the shoulder back to the track and into travers. So the shoulder in, we were on what we call 3 tracks. So the inside front leg came in on its own track, outside front and inside hind on one track, and outside leg on the other. Now you're going to see a bit of half pass, which is actually a medium level dressage movement, but she's training medium now. And then we turn it into a shoulder in before then leg yielding back to the track. It's one of the exercises we're working on. You won't have to do half pass at elementary level, but you want to be training movements one level higher ideally than what you're competing at anyway. So now we're seeing the shoulder in again. You can get a good look at what those 3 tracks look like, and then into travers, where we go to 4 tracks. We bring the hindquarters in off the track onto 4 clear tracks, and the flexion should stay to the direction that you're traveling, so left flexion in this case. Then we're going to come around onto the right rein now. Both those movements are contained within the elementary levels. So shoulder in is at the 3A, shoulder in and travers at 3B, and then up into the renvers at 3C. So renvers is kind of like shoulder in, but you want them flexed in the direction they're travelling, whereas in shoulder in you want them flexed to the inside. And in renvers you want them on 4 tracks also. So you've got to see that same movements now coming head on in our direction. Another thing that changes when we go from novice to elementary. At novice and prelim we're doing a working trot, a working canter, and then some lengthen of the paces, whereas at elementary we're asking for the hind leg to get stronger, so it should become more active, step up and under and through better, where they can sit on it, and then lifting in the front end and more of a collected frame. So back into travers there. That takes time and strength. You can sit there and try and pull a horse's head up or whatever. All you're going to do is create a sore, hollow-backed horse with resentment and tension. So we want a strong horse over the back that's swinging, and the frame should be coming from a hind leg that they're sitting on. And tucks the pelvis, lifts the back, lifts the shoulder and wither, lifts up through the neck, softens through the pole, and through the hand to the rider's hand, through the bit to the rider's hands. So you're getting a good look at some shoulder ins and some travers, some better than others throughout this trot work here. And we've picked up canter. Now you're going to get to see those some of those same lateral movements in the canter. At elementary, we don't have to do lateral movements in the canter. We don't do lateral movements in the canter. However, it is important to be training those movements, because once we get to medium and above, we start doing canter half pass, and the horse does need to have those lateral movements established at the canter in order to set him up or her up for those lateral movements at medium and above level of dressage. It also helps when you come in, you want to be able to have full control of all the legs of the horse and all the components of the horse. So I say you've got to have control of each individual leg. You've got to have control of the head, the shoulder and the hindquarter, all individually, as these will lead later on to your canter pirouettes, piaffe and passage, half pass, getting more or less angle in your half passes, everything basically. So you want to be able to soften them, bend the horse any direction you want, regardless of the way you're travelling. The other thing that is started at elementary that I haven't put in this video is the canter 10-metre circles. I didn't work on any of those when I rode her yesterday. However, she can do those really, really well. This mare has a very natural ability for canter collection work. The other thing that you just watched was a canter to walk transition. Sounds really simple in theory. However, it's really not as easy. So you get to see a bit more of lateral in the canter. It's not as easy as you think. Containing these big movements, these big powerful horses, and to get a true canter to walk transition should involve no trot steps. and quite often I see people go, yeah, I can do a canter to walk, and there's 2 or 3 trot steps before the horse actually walks. They need to sit and engage the hindquarter in order to really get a true canter to walk transition. So simple changes through walk, which is canter to walk, and then back up to canter without any trot steps. That all starts at elementary. They all lead towards your flying changes. The other thing I haven't shown in this video, but you'll do, is what we call counter canter. So you're intentionally cantering on the wrong canter lead, you know, and you want your horse to be strong through that as well, as this all leads to your flying change work. Flying changes start at medium level dressage. It's really important, even though we've stepped up to a higher level and we're not judged on this anymore, that your horse can still take the bridle down and forward and stretch his back. It is judged at a prelim and a novice level, but it disappears at elementary, as is assumed by this level you should be able to do it and the horse should be doing it. But it's really important to spend a bit of time with them long and low in the trot and canter work, and let them really swing over the back and use their backs.